just finished my writing for the day. It's been a big shift in a short amount of time, so I'm very happy about that. I think I've been just thinking the wrong way about artist days and kind of blocking myself in a unnecessary way. It was really good to find that feeling of flow again that I hadn't experienced in a long while. I really don't want to write now, but I'm really excited about the progress I'm making on my project. One of the coolest things that happened this week is that it's Monday evening and I've just started the second week of the Write for Life program. It's quite late in the day, it's already 11 p.m, but I wanted to do a quick check-in on this first day. So I did my morning pages this morning, and normally I would usually do my daily quota directly after, but because I was off in the afternoon today, I thought I would have time, and so I didn't do it as I would normally do, and that was a mistake because in the afternoon there were other things I wanted to do, things that didn't go as planned, took more time that I thought would take. Also, to be honest, just some procrastination, and so I only ended up starting working on my writing at like 10 p.m. or something. Which isn't great, and I don't recommend. I will try to avoid doing that again in the future. But some thoughts that I had around just how slow I'm going. I mentioned during week 1 that I was still pantsing a good part of my story, so I'm still figuring out what the story is, kind of the setting, a lot of elements, and so that means that I'm writing quite slowly. But on top of that, I also do quite a bit of research at the same time. Advice is usually to just like write, put a placeholder and do the research at another moment. It's just really hard for me to do that. I just like to have at least some information to put in, even if it's not going to be perfect, even if it's not going to be exact. I still need to have a rough sense of what I'm talking about. So I do a lot of pauses to do that bit of research that I need in like a specific sentence or something. It's usually like something that I'm looking for specifically, but that needs still some kind of thorough research and looking into something that's just going to take more than 2 minutes. And so I was thinking about that and about Julia Cameron's kind of recommendation to write every single day. I'm just wondering how realistic that really is. I mean, just outside the fact that it might not be realistic for a lot of people who have lots of responsibilities, might be working several jobs, having kids, studying in the evening or things like that. Just beyond that, I'm just thinking about the whole process of writing and the different stages of writing. Writing in the sense of putting words to the page is not the only thing in the work of writing. As I mentioned, there is research, but I'm also thinking about editing, and so I'm wondering how she takes that into account. I kind of assume that she takes research as a separate matter, but what happens when one of her books moves into the editing stage? Like, is she still writing, like creating new content every day? I don't think that would necessarily work for me. Just like, it feels like you would have piles of things, like you need to do your daily quota, on top of that you're editing another project, potentially researching and things like that. That feels like a lot. Anyway, just like for the sake of this program and for where I'm at in my project, I think it's probably fine to aim to be writing a little bit every day, but I'm just thinking long term, I don't think that would be realistic to be writing every single day. And also, I think I need to make the time to do some research outside of my writing sessions, like really focus on understanding what I need to understand to build that world and be able to speak confidently about it. So I'll try to do some of that this week. I think that's going to be helpful, and also spending some time working on an outline would be helpful. So I already have kind of a draft of something, but it's very incomplete, and that's also why I'm pantsing at this stage, because like I have a lot of thoughts about more that's like the second half of the story, and I'm still figuring out how to get there. So kind of preparing the fields and having a better sense of where I'm going, I think it's going to be helpful as well. So I'm not sure I will have the time to do all of that this week, but I will do my best. So that's what was on my mind today. Tuesday morning and I just finished my writing for the day. So I did my morning pages and then my daily quota, and I'm about to start work. But I just wanted to quickly check in because something quite cool happened. So basically, one of the tasks for this week is to use a timer. So put like a timer for 20 minutes, and the goal is to help you get started because that's often the hardest part. That's what I did, but I didn't really have any problem getting started with the writing. So for me, it was more like a race against the clock, knowing that I have to get to work soon. So trying to get my 250 words done for the day in just those 20 minutes. And I don't know, like I was in a very good place. Words were flowing. It felt very easy, kind of the scene almost writing itself. And so I'm still building with it. It's just such a great feeling. And it was actually, the difficulty was more to stop. And so I'm a little bit late for work now, so I have to get going and make up for that. But yeah, I just wanted to share the joy and the excitement. It's Friday night now and I'm really tired. I really want to go to bed. But the thing is, I didn't complete my daily quota this morning because I needed to start working. I was very close but didn't quite make it. So my goal for today was to reach 5,526 words, and I'm currently sitting at 5,503 words. So I'm missing 23 words, which feels like nothing. I really don't want to write now, but I also don't want to break my streak. So I'm gonna write my 23 words. I also even stopped in the middle of the sentence, so it should be easy enough to get those words down. Again, like I'm really tired. I really want to go to bed, but okay, I need to do this. Okay, I'm done. I even got a bit further. I'm at 5,569 words and that feels good. I'm happy with myself. And now I can go to bed. It's Saturday today, so we're almost at the end of the second week of the Write for Life program, and I wanted to share some thoughts. I finished reading the second chapter today. It was actually very good to savor it and read it little by little rather than all in one go as I was doing before. In The Artist's Way, Julia Cameron recommends that you read each week's chapter before you start the week. So like if you're starting on Monday, read the chapter on Sunday and read it all at once. So that's what I did at the time and it was fine. For this one, I think like the second chapter is the longest chapter even from the whole of The Artist's Way. To be honest, it's a bit repetitive at times because the different mini essays in the chapter do tend to follow a similar formula where she talks about the weather, she describes where she's sitting in her house, going on a walk with her dog and stuff like that. She will talk about doing her morning pages and then doing her daily quota, and then talk about a writer that she knows who's struggling with writing, and she will advise them to do the morning pages or to try another tool that she's talking about. And then 2 months later, that writer will come back to her, say that they had amazing results and all is well in the world. If I had read the whole chapter at once, I think that would have been quite boring, to be honest. But reading a little bit every day was much more pleasurable and kind of a good reminder of the value of those exercises. So as I said, I finished the chapter today, quite enjoyed that way of reading it. So I will probably continue to do that for next week because it's also a rather long chapter. I think after that they start to get shorter. In terms of content, one idea or tool that she talks about that I really enjoyed was about grabbing time. And so basically it's just this idea of writing whenever you can, even if it's in very short bursts. I'm currently in a writer groups for a few weeks in parallel to the deep dive series that I talked about in a previous video. And some people in the group were talking about how they're doing that, grabbing time and sometimes only getting like 10 minutes to write something. I was really impressed with that. I didn't think I would be able to do that. I had that feeling that, oh, I need time to get into the story, to get something worthy on the page. Like, yeah, 10 minutes would not do it. I probably need like at least an hour, if not more. And that was actually like a very limiting kind of mindset. Since I've started the Write for Life program, I've been writing a little bit every day. One of the tasks this week was to put a timer for 20 minutes and just commit to only 20 minutes, and after you can stop. And I've been actually close to doing my daily quota in just those 20 minutes. It's such a great feeling because like it's not a big time commitment, but you still get a very strong sense of accomplishment. In a way, makes the writing more enjoyable as well. Also, it just makes it much less intimidating. Just thinking, okay, I only have to write for 20 minutes or even 10 minutes, even 5 minutes. And you get excited when you can accumulate those little bits of time. It's been really fun this week to see how my mindset and practices around writing have changed. As I mentioned, I didn't think I'd be able to write in very short bursts. That has changed. Another thing I've noticed is that I'm much less precious about my writing and how I write. Before, I didn't expect to be able to write on my phone. So for example, at one point this week, I had to step away from my laptop, but I was also in a very good flow of writing, so I kept writing on my phone as I went, and then I was able to transfer that back to the laptop. But yeah, I didn't expect to be able to write on the phone. Like again, I'd be, oh, I need a proper screen and I need to be sitting somewhere, blah, 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 which actually is not true. And that makes me just much more productive. On top of those quick thoughts about this week's chapter, I wanted to share a few cool things that happened this week. One morning I had an amazing writing session. I just didn't want to stop. Ended up being a bit late for work, but yeah, had a lot of fun with writing, got really excited. It was really good to find that feeling of flow again that I hadn't experienced in a long while. So that was a very joyful experience. And then the same day, it was really cool to see my brain keep working on my story outside of my writing sessions. And so in the evening, going to bed, trying to fall asleep, my brain was kind of finding bits of the story and I had to take notes before falling asleep. And so that meant that I also had some material ready to work on for the next day. So that writing session was also very easy. And finally, one of the coolest things that happened this week is that I submitted some pages for a contest. I'm very nervous, but also very excited and very proud of myself for taking the leap and trying it out. I'm not expecting much because I know it's going to be very competitive, but still just the fact that I entered is a big win for me, because a month ago I didn't even consider entering because I felt so blocked and I didn't have any material to submit anyway. So yeah, it's been a big shift in a short amount of time, so I'm very happy about that. Today's Wednesday from week 3, so I'm already quite late on my check-in from week number 2 from the Write for Life program, so let's just dive in. The first question is about the morning pages. During week 1, I tried writing in a different writing station every day, and so I took the lessons from that experiment into week 2. I ended up writing most of my morning pages on my terrace outside first thing in the morning. I was quite lucky because the weather was beautiful and sunny and the temperatures are warming up, so it was very cozy writing outside every morning. I really enjoyed it. And I've been writing my morning pages every day, so that's a win. The second part of the check-in is about the artist date. So this week I went to the city looking for a new notebook. Basically my current notebook, which I very much love, is coming toward the end. I have a few pages left, but I calculated that I have less than 2 weeks, well, less than 2 weeks at the time, so a bit over a week now. I will need a new notebook soon, and I went looking for one. So I found this gorgeous one, which is from Paper Blank. It's a little bit smaller than my previous one, so for morning pages I might switch to 4 pages a day to compensate for that. Basically, I love this brand. This is from Notebook Therapy, but those notebooks take a lot of time to deliver to France, so I knew that I wouldn't receive a new one on time, so I took the opportunity to make that my artist date, going on hand for a new notebook, which I always love. I realized one thing this week about artist dates. I noticed that I was struggling quite a bit to find ideas for the activities that I would find energizing and exciting. Like I can go watch a movie, go to a museum. There are not that many where I live, and the one that I really want to visit is currently on renovation and I don't know when it opens again, so that's been a bit frustrating. But basically, because the purpose of the artist date is supposedly to refill your creative well, I was very much focusing on activities in terms of input, so bringing something in, like new imagery, new ideas and things like that, and somehow that was blocking me. And I was considering activities where I do get some output not to fit in the artist dates framework, which I think actually is wrong. Like, focusing on the purpose of the artist date, it's to refill the well, give you energy, make you excited about creating again. And my primary form of creativity is writing, but I think that other creative activities in other medium and styles could be actually helpful and could count as artist date. So I'm thinking about maybe doing a puzzle, which I love to do but I haven't done in a while, or painting, maybe doing some kind of art journal, so like collages and things like that. So this would be considered more like of an output activity because I'm creating something, but I think that would still fit the purpose of the artist date. So I think I've been just thinking the wrong way about artist dates and kind of blocking myself in a unnecessary way. So for the upcoming weeks, I'm probably gonna try those kind of creative activities that I do enjoy and that can bring me some energy and help refill the well in a different way. The third question is about the walks. So Julia Cameron recommends taking 2 solitary walks during the week. I only did 1 this week and I don't have a good excuse for it. It was just bad planning and laziness on my part, so I need to do better. And then finally, the last part of the check-in is about the daily quota. So I did my daily quota every day this week and I'm really excited about the progress I'm making on my project and looking forward to continue writing every single day. Thanks so much for watching. That's all I have for week 2 of the Write for Life program. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.